stripy tree? You can just hear it all. Oh, there's an umbrella. What's the deal with stripy tree? It's just a radio floating by. I guess it's still working. Water resistant. White nose syndrome is still largely a mystery. We suspect that the white fungal growth which appears on bats' faces and wings irradiates and confuses them, irritates and confuses them, causing them to awaken early from hibernation and venture outside, depleting stored energy when they need to survive through winter. There's a winter here? But biologists are nowhere near curing the disease. It spreads quickly and is highly fatal. In this way, white nose syndrome has drawn some comparisons to the colony collapse disorder as suffered by bees. White nose syndrome and colony collapse disorder are sudden, violent, and mysterious. Will honeybees and the Kentuckiana black bat be two more lost species wiped out in the geological blink and forgotten to natural history? It's possible that a cure won't be identified in time, so the sanctity of this artificial hibernaculum is our best hope in preserving them. As you leave the Echo River Kentuckiana black bat hibernaculum and sanctuary, please make sure that your vehicle and clothing are free of hitchhikers. Like, more bats? Are we gonna end up taking one bat with us? Another stowaway joining our crew. Okay, it's starting to creepily feel like those guys are chasing me. Should there be power lines around here? Is it because of the Consolidated Power Company? Oh, that's trippy. As the brick tunnel fades into view. What a cool looking space. Careful up there. Can't drive your new truck if you slip and break your legs. You too. Try not to make any more bad deals while I'm gone. Ha! I'll just be floating right along here. I just mean, keep your eyes open and don't look back. When's the last time I controlled Conway? Have I done it a single time this chapter? Oh, hi. I remember you. What are you doing down here? I'm just exploring. I like dark underground places. I'm a romantic. Really? What does that mean to you? It means I like poems and rivers and mysteries. Okay, bye. Bye. What? I'm the only source of light down here? What are these guys doing in here? Look at all this cool reflective ceiling, but you guys don't have any light in here? Well, you guys do have light in here. You can't trick me. There's a fucking... He's got a lamp on. His thing's on. This button doesn't make sense. Was his name Dashiell? I guess so. It'd be bypassed another capacitor at 100 nanofarads to reduce noise. Are you Dashiell Morse? Hmm? I mean, me? Yes, I'm him. Sorry, I've been hacking on this thing all night. My thoughts are starting to come in alternating currents. We don't install this kind of phone for customers anymore, but there are quite a few of them still in circulation. Anyway, the new system doesn't source enough current to ring these old bells, so I'm trying to come up with a workaround. Maybe a little box the customer could attach right before the wall jack. I'm a bit of a circuit geek myself. I bet. I mean, you seem very comfortable with electronics. Is this your first time down here? Yeah, I can tell. Your eyes can't quite adjust to the light. It takes some practice. Believe it or not, I've been coming here since I was a kid, for one reason or the next. Back then, this place was a train station. It's true. They had bats then, too. But they were considered a nuisance. A train station? What happened to it? Well, the river shifted, and this place slowly filled with water, carrying the trains away with the current. It does that, the river. And I don't begrudge it. It's a good reminder that everything we have is borrowed, even trains. Eventually, someone at the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces here heard this place was still empty, so they moved the phone company in here. I returned here as a young lineman, a skill I picked up in wartime, running telephone wires behind enemy lines. We used trees instead of poles. I missed that, actually. They were easier to climb. It's just as well. I'm in no shape to be climbing anything these days. The closest I get is patching up the wiring in the crystal room for the WEVP folks. WEVP is the TV station, right? Kate says you're the only one who can tell me where it is. Now let's go back down. Did you ever know a girl named Weaver? Sure, Weaver Marquez. That's funny. I was just thinking about her. Yeah, I met her a couple of times at the TV station. I suppose I didn't know her too well. She handled the archives, and I was helping with wiring and stuff. She really seemed to know her way around all that gear. Though she had a head for signals, I guess. I think. No idea where she ended up. I guess she's probably not too popular on the station anymore, but I always liked her. Listen, miss, if you're interested in WEVP, you should talk to them directly. They're always looking for volunteers. Take the ferry over to the silo. There's a mail stop there. They don't have a sign or anything, just ask around. I guess I'll get back to this damn old ringer. Poppy's just a little further down if you're dropping off that package. Nice chatting with you. My eyes can't get used to the light. How dim is that lamp? How little light is he even working with down here? Abel and Eloise, the lovers' couriers. Bred for racing, Abel and Eloise spent most of their lives as carrier pigeons in the employ of Echo River Avian Post. They retired here after Abel was disfigured in an accident with a light aircraft. But old habits were hard to die. Abel and Eloise would pick up scraps of paper from the ground, the trash, and even pull them out of pockets and deliver them to other people nearby, to delight or embarrassment. Word spread, and travelers passed through this tunnel began to come prepared with love letters, poems, and other written desires to pass along indirectly through these pigeons. After a hard day's work, Abel and Eloise would always be found nestled closely together in a disused paper stand, set aside for their habitation, and that's where we left them. Wait, like still? Like, are there bodies in there? It's kind of a neat detail that they would just travel back and forth across this area, deliver packages to each other. Just set it right over there by the lamp, sweetie. Thanks. Actually, just a minute. Who does that parcel claim to be from? It's weird how much you get to warp reality around you, essentially. Laszlo Electronics. Oh, must be my new patch cables. And not a minute too soon. This one here is hanging on by a fiber. So who are you? Do you work with the post office? Or the tugboat? I only ask because I haven't seen you before. Was that you I heard chatting down the hall? Yeah, I just met Dashiell. He's been working on that obsolete ringer, hasn't he? Poor Dashiell. You know, he's not really... He was let go a while back. A long while ago, actually. When they started restructuring. He was one of the first to go. But he talked them into letting him come every day and fiddle with some interminable project. He says it's to keep a long gap from growing on his resume, but I think he just has nothing better to do. One of those old men who needs to work, you know? Doesn't know how to be any other way. Well, there are no real jobs here, but there are fake jobs, I guess. It wasn't always like this. When I came to work at the Echo River Central Exchange, there were 12 of us. Loretta, Edna, Meg, Kara, Marie, Lois, Liz, Hester, Angie, Wilma, Connie. I was number 12. Connie and I were hired on the same day, but she showed up early. Mary finished college, and Hester was fired for snapping at a rude caller, but he had it coming. Now here she did just fine on her own. So they hired Beryl, Jana, and Sachiko, which brought us up to 13. And that was as many operators as we ever had here at one time. The power company came along, buying up all the lines, and one day they took the exchange as a throw-in, like it was nothing. Nothing. And they started phasing us out. Edna, Meg, Kara, and Lois left one Friday evening, and were asked not to come back on Monday morning. Beryl saw the writing on the wall and quickly found employment at a private PBX. They had Jana and Liz stop routing calls and write up some kind of best practices document instead. It was their final task as exchange employees. Some of the girls were reassigned to other divisions. Connie, I think, was checking residential meters. Sachiko and Wilma were moved into energy sales, cold calling businesses to see if they needed to upgrade their electricity plan. At least they were still on the phone. Then it was just Loretta, Angie, and me. We were swamped. The hours were hell and hard on the throat. The voice with a smile became a croak. I was gargling warm salt water in the back room, singing from a thermos full of hot honey broth stashed under my chair. Sipping from a hot thermos. Oh, I brought a lot of extended technique to the switchboard in those days. Things seem a little less intensive right about now. Sounded pretty good to me. He's got the voltage too high. He'll burn out the relay. So, where was I? Hot honey broth and warm salt water. Right, and a healthy dose of slippery elm. I got that one from Kate. So, after a few months, it was just me. A new automation strategy was announced, and this place was rechristened Consolidated Auxiliary Switch Number 30. If it's automated, what do you do here? It's not fully automated. There are still gaps in functionality that need a human touch. And you know, it really is all about touch here. Sound is a vibration. A touch you can feel in your ear. So my voice is my touch. When we're talking, we're touching, even on the phone. That's an electric touch, an intimate little shock that makes your tiny hairs tremble. But that's not even what I meant. What I say is it's all about touch here. When the power company first tried automating this old exchange with fancy new transistor arrays, the switchboard caught fire. It was just too much, too fast. So they tried using some clunky old mechanical relays, but then the calls were getting mismatched and out of sync. It was a nightmare. Their technicians determined that the phone system down here had been designed ad hoc over decades around the specific tempo of its human operators. So, short of replacing the whole thing, not to mention all the wiring. They'd have to work out the exact timing of every little human gesture that goes into routing a phone call. And that, officially, is my role here. I run the switchboard for the whole exchange. Once the work of 12, I'd like to remind you. They have some kind of machine somewhere that tracks how long it takes for me to do each little thing. The caller never hears my voice now. They dial, my little indicator light switches on, and I make the connection. Do you miss talking to callers? You know, there's something that bothers me about the process, besides the fact that I'm training my replacement, who isn't even human. Here's what I mean. How long do you think it should take to time my every move and recreate that timing in an automated switchboard? Rough estimate. Couple days. That's what I said. But this has been going on for over a year. And a very dark thought has started to nag at me. What if there is no cheap machine that's going to replace me? What if it's cheaper just to keep me here, filling in for the rhythm of the operators? What if I'm the cheap machine? You're not a machine. Nice of you to notice. I mourn the Echo River Central Exchange, and I'll carry a torch for the voice with a smile. But at least I'm keeping some part of it human, right? Even if it's not the best part. Oh, the parcel. Right over there by the lamp is fine. Thanks for dropping that off. Take care. Think of me when you dial 0. There's always more 0. Is that blue? When did it get on the shore? This game definitely has a bone to pick with company practices. It's like, I was here just to train the machine, but what if they realized that I'm cheaper, just me, here, abandoned in the dark, like a single gear, a single cog within a larger machine, just left to burn out, forgotten when it's convenient. Conway? Shit, I think I clicked on the skull. I wasn't sure what I was looking at. Was one of them the chance to get out? I was right to be freaked out by them chasing us. They just snatched up Conway. Shit. That's probably the end of the chapter. Oh. She returned on the dinghy, alone. She had a strong and sudden urge to shut up the motor off and let the current take her, but she couldn't work out where that impulse came from, so she did her best to resist it. I must have Blue with me at least, right? She met a guitar player pedaling a floating bicycle with his dog in tow. He said they took turns. The water was cold, and the floating bicycle, while technically marvelous, wasn't quite buoyant enough for both of them. Swimming is hard work, the hardest work the dog had ever done, he expected. They'd been traveling this way for most of the night, struggling through the icy water, stopping to recover when they could find a rock large enough to start a small campfire. He had his belongings stuffed into a weathered guitar case at the end of a thin rope. It floated pretty well, but he only had to keep an eye on it and occasionally free it from a rock or some driftwood it was caught on. She invited him to ride a ways in the dinghy. He appreciated the offer, but they weren't in a hurry. It's the hardest job. He says it's the hardest work your dog's ever done. Get him out of the water. She met a family of 5 on a flat-bottom skiff. The boat was loaded to capacity with black plastic bags and a few larger pieces of furniture wrapped in blue tarp. 3 padded, the 2 adults and the other child. The 2 younger children slept. 3 paddled. They'd been traveling all night, first by car, and then for the last few hours by boat. Hungry and tired. They didn't plan to stop until they reached West Virginia, where a relative had offered to take them in. But the adults were happy to take a break from paddling in wary silence. They asked her about her river journey. She told them about the memorial. They were sympathetic. No minors in their family, but he was once injured at a warehouse job and had to fight for disability pay. They knew what these companies were like, and what it was like to have to assert your humanity to them. They wished her well, and paddled on towards West Virginia. She met a painter of shipwrecks. He never worked from photographs, so his paintings could be divided into 2 categories. There were the ones he painted from life, and the Echo River was a very good source for all these because its currents were so unpredictable and the tunnels so dark. He rendered these in oil paint by lamplight, working for hours cross-legged on the porch of his houseboat/studio. Then there was the ones he painted from memory, mostly the memory of a single wreck he encountered as a much younger man, picking up litter where the coastal highway cleaves to the rocky beaches of Northern California. These were done in watercolor. He preferred to work on them in the morning, in a room he rented near the airport in Louisville. He had some postcard-sized sketches in charcoal, too, of the Iron Pariah. It wasn't a wreck exactly, but it felt right. He tried to scribble one down every time he encountered it, though it was so unpredictable, and he was so focused on details, he usually just ended up with a handful of inscrutable marks. She gave in, shut off the motor, and floated for a while. Then she knew what she'd been craving. A moment of silence. Conway. Are we even going to be able to find them again? What are they pulling up? So what happens in Act 5? Do we break out the guillotines, burn it all down? Or do we just leave Conway? Just in time. We've already finished eating, but we're about to place a to-go order for Clara. She's back on board, getting ready for her show. Take a look at the menu. I'm sure there's something you'll like. Ida's a bit of a local celebrity for her cooking, I mean. Hey, Ezra was just talking about you. He's around the corner playing a video game. Maybe go let him know you two are back, or... Where is the old man anyway? Oh, bad luck. He'll get it next time. Hey, got a quarter? He's almost got this. It's true. Sure, I have 1 quarter. Thank you. So, where's... They took him. Damn. Yeah, he really got himself in a situation there. Yeah. I'm gonna go sit down. Cool. The food is good here. I think everyone else is finishing up, but you could probably get something to go. Alright, Claw Maestro, let's give it another shot. So let's see what's on the top of the pile here. There's a stuffed octopus, a plastic bag full of clamshells, a cowboy hat, and some big headphones. That octopus has a leg wrapped around the boombox underneath it. The shells are pretty clear, but I don't know if the claw can really grip the bag well. The cowboy hat's in the corner, so it's kind of tricky to tell if it's wedged in or not. The headphones might be a good bet, but I can't see the cord. It could be wrapped around something. What are you gonna try for? I'll try to get the headphones. Good call. I think that's our best bet. Okay, when I put this quarter in, you'll have about 8 seconds to grab your prize. The headphones are on the right, pretty close to the middle. Let me know if you need any help lining it up. I've got a slightly different view of the field from up here. Ready? Here we go. Johnny inserts the coin and the machine awakens. 8. The claw hovers in the front left corner of the machine. Ezra pushes the joystick right. 7. The claw hovers halfway across the front of the machine. Ezra pushes the claw up. The claw hovers in the center of the machine. Ezra pushes the joystick right. The claw hovers halfway along the right wall of the machine. Does this look right? Yeah, looks good to me. Go for it. 4. Ezra pushes the button to drop the claw. The claw drops. It grabs the headphones. The claw's grasp seems unusually weak on this round, and the headphones tumble back out before they could be retrieved. Ah, you were robbed. I guess the house always wins except on Tuesdays. A friend of ours always said that. Never really knew what he meant. Oh well. Hey, listen. Sounds like that old man you were following around, I guess he had to leave. I should go with him. Oh, no, that's not a good idea. It's not a place for kids where he's headed. Anyway, I don't know what kind of plan you have now, but if you need help figuring out your next move, you can always talk to me and Miss Junebug. I just wanted to make sure you knew that. Could I keep going with you? Hey, I've got no objection. We have a pretty ad hoc thing going on, me and Junebug. I'd have to talk to her, but I bet you're welcome to tag along for a while if you're into it. Hey, maybe we still have time to poke around this place a little. They have some pretty wild stuff in here. Why are they robots?